Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the City Council meeting for Monday, November 19th. If you'd please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Mayor Burchill.
Here.
District 1 Morset.
Here.
District 2 Yakub. Here. District 3 Bernard.
Here.
District 4 T-Winkle.
Here.
District 5 Hoggett.
Here.
District 6 Vanslo.
Here. If there's anyone in the audience that would like to address the council, now is the time on any subject not on the agenda. So is there anyone in the audience that would like to address the council? Okay. Hearing none, we'll move on to consent agenda items.
To approve the public hearing, to approve the regular meeting minutes of November 12, 2012, to approve claims for payment in the amount of $193,235.66. A detailed description is available in the clerk's office on request and is posted on the city's website. To approve the issuance of one operator's license for the period November 20th, 2012 to June 30th, 2014. Additional information is available in the clerk's office on request. To schedule a public hearing for 6:50 p.m. on Monday, December 3rd, 2012 regarding the taxicab service license application of Right Ride Ryan James Humphrey. To approve a crosswalk to be painted on First Street at the south side of Walnut Street. To approve using $1,000 from the $6,500 allocation in the 2012 budget for storage solutions and hire Overwhelmed to organize the storage closets in the public safety building. To approve 2-hour free parking at downtown parking meters and issuance of courtesy tickets from Thanksgiving, November 22nd to January 1st, 2013. To place on file the quarterly reports of the library director and water utility director, monthly report of the finance officer, and the November 13th, 2012 minutes of the Public Utility Commission, November 14th, 2012 minutes of the St. Croix EMS Commission, and November 7th, 2012 minutes of the Advisory Joint Fire Board. That is all.
Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
T-Winkle.
Yes.
Bernard.
Yes.
Morset.
Yes.
Yakub.
Yes.
Hoggett.
Yes.
Vanslo.
Yes.
First item on the agenda is the review of quotes to receive and consider purchase of vehicle for Community Development Officer, or Community Development Department, excuse me. I think everyone has their packet. In their packet, the bids.
I'll make a motion that we approve the bid from Ewald for the Chevy Equinox at $20,964.
I'll second it.
Questions, comments?
I have one.
Yep.
In finance, it was discussed to find winter storage, so to me, the remote start thing becomes cumbersome. And I mean, your whole point was that you would want it so when it's sitting overnight outside. I mean, I don't know how much that adds to the vehicle, but I just think it's not something we need on a vehicle if we're going to find indoor storage, whether it's $300 or $200, I don't know. It's $300 off market usually, so it's probably $500 at the dealer, so.
I worked with Dan Ortner to put together specs on the vehicle, and that's something he suggested. You know, it's if it means not getting the vehicle, we can definitely take it off of there.
Well, we should know within a day or two whether there's space anywhere for.
Well, I know, but I'm saying that that quote is with that already in the vehicle, right?
Correct. Yeah.
I'm sure they have one that doesn't have it, is what I'm saying, or it comes with.
Well, no, I'm sorry. That is already included in the price.
Right.
I'm assuming they'd have to install it.
Yes.
Before it's delivered.
I'm just saying, if we find a place to store it, I would respectfully request that maybe we don't put remote start then, because it's not necessary. If the whole purpose was for defrosting windows in the winter and stuff.
Yeah, that's understandable.
I'll work with David, and if we were able to, I'll communicate with him whether we're able to find some place as far as.
Just a side note, are all our specs coming from our mechanic at the city? They all have remote starters for all the vehicles? Is that commonplace?
You have to ask Marty.
Well,
Do you have a remote start on the police vehicles?
This is a spec copied off of the Public Works vehicles, so maybe Tom can speak to that.
I wasn't gonna speak on to that, but if need be, as far as storage, if you wouldn't mind, I mean, there might be a spot we could, find up at the city garage. He could come up and park with all our guys if you want to report to work. We do start at 6:30 though. So, I mean, if that works out, I mean, we could probably find a spot if you would like to report up there and,
We can find something,
So-
I'm sure.
I'd be glad to work with him.
Sounds good.
Okay, thank you, Tom. You're okay with that if Devin,
I'm just saying.
we can save $300 or $500?
Well,
Yeah, I'll
you know
work with
how it is
David
at
on
car
that.
dealers, they take you for everything you got, so I just don't want to give it anything if we don't have to.
I'll work with David on that.
Okay, any other comments, suggestions? We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 5, we have a request by Azul Tequila LLC for a possible 30-day extension in finance. I think everyone was here. We recommended till January 1st. They'll probably be open before that, but they just wanted it, so they get, I think they were having to drop the sprinkler systems down in the building a little further because they put a false canopy up. So,
move for approval,
okay,
30-day extension.
I'll second.
any other discussion on that? Concerns? I think we're kind of all anticipating that they're going to be open shortly, huh?
The pictures look
I
great.
saw pictures,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they're opening. So.
Yep. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Item 7, consider proceeding with the DNR application process for possibly revision to the permit and layout of existing courtesy dock. Tom, did he leave?
No, he's here.
There he is.
Should I go up to the bigger?
Sure.
This is the latest and greatest plan that we have. We did present a similar plan to the park board on November 16th. The biggest change is adding this larger dock on here to accommodate 2 charter boats and having a third one here. The other thing, the current docks are facing inward, so this allows, the new proposal would allow the boats to come in this way, which would be easier for the boats docking here. And it also helps the boats avoiding the mooring area. To accommodate the dinghies, we're going to add like 41 feet onto here and have 2 48-foot docks put out toward the river, and we feel that we can accommodate 48 to 50 dinghies in that area. So this is what we'd like to propose to the DNR.
So Tom, can we talk a little bit about process now? Was he going to put a gate up so that only the dinghy owners could get into the area where the dinghies are? Remember we talked a little bit about that? So that just not everybody can walk back there?
That's possible. I don't see why that wouldn't be a
Yeah.
possibility.
Because that way there'd be some security there that nobody can just get back there. Other than they'd have a key, all the dinghy owners would have a key for the gate to get back. I mean,
Yeah,
obviously.
that's a good idea.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, the dinghies can be tied up, floating in the water, or there is an option of having like a smaller plastic floating device that, accommodates like a jet ski. That's something else that we could consider for this, but I don't think that has to be part of the DNR application.
No. Weren't we also talking about storing upside down on the dock? Isn't that gonna work? Was
I
there-
think the DNR only allows the docks to be 5 feet wide.
Okay,
So, I mean, to have a 4-foot dinghy on a
Gotcha.
dock, I mean, you'd be stepping over, and then the
Okay.
docks are, the boats are,
gotcha.
so that'd be pretty tough. So either we have to have them in the water, and if that's an issue, you know, I think that's really a good solution with that, you know, those floatable docks like the jet skis.
Okay. So have any early indication from the DNR or from the Corps of Engineers about this, or haven't we officially submitted it?
We haven't officially submitted. I've talked with you know, a representative. I've got the application already partially filled out.
Okay.
They're waiting for some detailed drawing with some dimensions, which I believe this would be very adequate.
Okay.
So I think we can proceed.
Questions for Mr. Zulli? Yes.
I think you mentioned it, I just don't remember. What's the difference now in distance between what they were currently storing, the way they were stored along the dike road versus this for the dinghy holders?
From this point, you know, this is where the current dock is right here, and then we're extending out another 84 feet. So actually, we're only going 84 feet to the west. But from this point here to the last mooring spot is 1,300 feet
Okay.
to the farthest point. At one meeting, I suggested that even a small boat, you know, could have like a small motor, either electric motor or 2 or 4 horse motor, which could be, if this is a secured area, they can be all locked on to their boats. I mean, that's not all that long. The other advantage is that this is only, you know, going to be about 6 feet away from the shoreline. So it's not like they're heading from the boat launch across, you know, that open water with other boats and bigger boats. I mean, this should be, you know, really a safe
Oh,
access
it's
to
a good
that.
idea.
So I think we have that covered.
We're also going to be, and I know it doesn't have anything to do with this, with the DNR, but we're talking about a uniform dinghy.
Yeah, they'd have to be to fit on that slip, you know, and we could, you know, I think we could specify that they have to be, you know, I think dinghies are 4 feet wide by 7 feet long.
Yep.
Are all the dinghies removed?
3 left. We'll get them out tomorrow. It's supposed to be last Friday or
Yeah.
afternoon, so as far as I've seen 3 there Friday, and I told Chuck to get them out today. I still see them there, so we'll get them out
Do we know who
tomorrow.
they belong to, or they're just abandoned?
I'm not sure. So we put them up in the impound lot. There's still some chains and cables and things, so we'll cut all those off, and
Are you gonna be able to get the pulley system removed from in there?
I didn't see that down there.
Well, there's, I can show you.
Oh,
There's a pulley system down. I don't know if it's still
Maybe
there.
it's gone.
Did they, oh, you mean they might have removed it?
it was
you mean?
by that tree, so I looked, I didn't see it. so-
Oh, so they probably removed it, is what you're saying, okay.
Any other questions for Tom?
Initial concern would be navigation on the east side of that dock. Where's the Duchess gonna park?
One of these 2 longer boats here, which in this currently it's from this ramp to the west side of the garage is
The bridge
bridge.
abutment?
Yeah, from this point to the bridge is 110 feet.
Okay.
So,
It's kinda hard to get a visual because it does angle towards the other shoreline, so it,
yeah, so actually this is
You know.
going opposite out, you know, I mean, opposite away from the bridge.
I think he wants that for the wind. He was talking about how hard it was to dock that big boat when the wind is, and that's why he wanted the angle. Wasn't that, didn't he talk a little bit
Yep.
about that?
Yep, it's very hard with the wind, the south wind, so. And I think we talked a little bit about the cost at finance. The going rough price for a river dock like this is about $110 a lineal foot. We have 41 feet, and then 2 extensions of 48 feet is about 137 feet. I think that comes up to a little over $15,000. He would like a minimum of like a 3-year payback, so that's about $300 for 3 years. So about $100 per moor for rent for a year. So that's kind of what we're looking at.
And that's assuming all moorers take advantage of the,
Yeah, and they may not, so then, you know, it might be a little longer for him, but that's kind of what we're looking at, the ballpark.
So if all moorers don't take, I didn't realize that some of them are parked over in the marina. So we have a policy of just 48 period,
49.
or 49 period, because that's how many moorings we have out there. So even though we have we'll have the spots available.
That doesn't necessarily mean that they'll want them.
Right.
Maybe they'll launch at the boat launch. I don't know. That was another one of our options.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll launch inflatable raft from the seawall. I don't know. But,
Yeah. Well, how many more is it, do we, or how many dinghies did we have out there before?
the last count I took late in fall, I counted 38.
Okay. Does anyone want to make a motion to recommend we forward this on to the DNR?
I'll make a motion to forward on the DNR.
And not the DNR, the Corps of Engineers.
Corps of Engineers.
Yeah.
I'll second.
All right. Any other discussion? Yes.
I'd like to just say, I had a fairly long conversation this afternoon with Amor, and he wanted it at least presented. He feels that the 1,300 feet is excessive for anyone to have to travel. He was wondering if this whole contraption could be moved into the middle of the mooring field. So I just want that out there.
Okay.
I did pose the question to him of safety. When all of a sudden we have these big cruise liners going through the middle of the mooring field, I feel that that's a dangerous situation. And I think Lori had commented at finance, no matter which plan is brought forward and claimed to be from the majority, the other majority says it's not. So I think that this is a plan that can help everyone. And
Tom, is there sort of in terms of who gets what mooring spot? Is there a lottery system, or if you had that mooring spot last year, you're guaranteed that same one? I'm just wondering, is there a way people can have a chance from year to year to get closer?
That's the way it is. I mean, whatever spot that you have last year, as long as you submit your application in on time, that's the one that you'll get from.
Quick question on the math. Okay, so I get that it could be a 3-year payoff for everyone, if everyone stores a dinghy there, but wouldn't we be just tacking the $100 onto the mooring fee? No, it's not a dinghy fee, it's the mooring fee.
Yeah,
correct.
So if we have 48 moors, then 3 years should be about adequate. I don't think it should matter if they're gonna store their dinghy there or not. I just think we should add, should be $100 added on to the mooring fee, so he can get a 3-year payback, or close to it. I mean, personally, he's helping us.
They have it available for them.
Yeah. It's available for them if they want to use it. If they don't want to use it, that's their deal. But he's in a way accommodating the city, and he's working with the city, and it's helping him too. I get that, but I don't understand why we just wouldn't raise the mooring fee $100, and so he's assured that payback in that timely manner. That's all I'm suggesting.
We can look
Either
at
that
that.
or
That's not really on the agenda for tonight, but when you go through your fees, don't you do that on an annual basis?
And actually, the courtesy dock permit expires in March of 2013. So somehow this all has to be working together. He's not going to, make a major investment like this unless he knows that he's going to have
Right.
a, extension or something on his lease too. So that's something we're going to have to be working on pretty close here to,
What is his annual fee, do you know, that we charge?
I think it's like $1,000. It's,
Okay.
another option is that we pay the $15,000 out of the mooring fund that we have, and as they pay it back, and as we raise the fee, it just pays the city back. Just saying.
Okay. We'll put that on the agenda. Anything else?
I just want to say one thing to your point, Kurt, about safety, and the topography of the river over there doesn't allow for those ships to go into that. So what they do is they swing it out and come in. So they're nowhere close to that mooring field because it's just not
the lay of the
possible.
land at the bottom of
Yeah.
the,
Yeah.
yes.
I think you were saying if this were to be extended, there would be an issue with the larger boats coming in.
Two things. The gentleman that I spoke to was concerned that the park board didn't follow any of the 3 suggestions that the moorers had presented. And one of them was this grand dock, 1,200 feet long. I think we all know the reality of that. So his other thought was literally to move Gordy's dock halfway down the dike, That way it's closer for everyone, and that's where the lay of the land underneath the water. I mean, I'm a boater myself. I just don't go in that area because it's shallow.
Okay?
One more thing that I do want just to mention, because it was part of our conversation that I had with this gentleman, was that he doesn't see where the mooring fee should be paying for the permit process, because it's ultimately Gordy that's getting the new dock out of it.
Okay. He's entitled to his opinion.
I wanted that out there.
Okay?
Do we have a motion?
Yes, and a second. Just letting everybody speak to, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Tom, you don't run away. We got Park Board, consider incorporating the City of Hudson Outdoor Recreational Plan into the St. Croix County Outdoor Recreation Plan, Resolution number 15-12.
I received a letter from Mr. Bob Heisey of St. Croix County Land and Water Conservation Department to see if there was any interest in the City of Hudson adding our outdoor recreation plan to the overall St. Croix County plan. We presented this to the Park Board, and they approved that it would be a good addition to the St. Croix County plan to have the City of Hudson plan incorporated with that. Gives us more exposure. The other thing, it allows us to get extra points if we were to apply for any other DNR grants that we would be applying for in the future. So, we'd have an advantage there, so.
So what's the benefit to the county? Just expanded
Just expanded
park system in
their,
there?
just to show that, county-wide, what's available in the county. It's, kind of highlighting the City of Hudson's
Okay.
park plan also.
Is there anything negative for the city to do this? I don't see anything negative.
That was asked at the park board meeting, and I didn't see of any negative reasons why not be part of it.
So, I mean, would there ever be a situation where the county would make some change that would then trickle down to local plans? Saying you have to do this, or this signage has to be used, and all of a sudden we find ourselves.
This is just a part of their plan. They have their comp plan. This is just an amendment to theirs, just to show, I don't know, it's just our separate plan in the overall presentation of theirs, I
Okay.
guess, so.
I wouldn't think they would have the authority.
I wouldn't think
I
so
wouldn't
either.
think so.
My concern at Park was, we have a difficult enough time amending our comp plan. My concern is, do they have authority over ours where now we have to?
I do not believe so.
Okay.
That's why I asked what they get out of it, because it just seems odd to me.
Well, maybe they get the extra grant points as well.
For, open or public
County
parklands, I
Or
think.
information they can have on their website, and
Or it can refer one city to another city. They did it this way.
Okay. Is there a motion?
You need to suspend
Oh.
rules for a resolution.
I'll make a motion to suspend the rules.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Roll call.
Bernard?
Yes.
Morset?
Yes.
Yakub?
No,
Haggett?
Yes.
Vanslo?
Yes.
T-Winkle?
Yes.
Okay. We're suspending the rules. Is there a motion to approve the resolution 15-12?
Motion to approve ordinance number 15-12.
No,
Resolution.
We're doing ordinance later.
Second.
Ordinance. Resolution.
Is there any other discussion?
Oh, I'm
Mary?
sorry.
Got anything?
I just feel like I have a lot of unanswered questions, so that's why I'm not
Okay.
ready to move forward.
Is there any questions that we can try and get answered tonight?
No.
Okay.
Tom, do we know who else in the county is
New Richmond, it says.
That's the only one that I knew of, and I didn't talk to River Falls. Well, they're in Pierce County.
Most of the, yeah, depending on where the park is.
Yeah.
I mean, some of the other smaller townships and villages may not even have this sort of
Yeah,
plan, recreation plan. I mean, so.
Okay. Any other discussion, comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
Motion carries. Update on projects. Getting quiet for the winter time, huh?
Mother Nature's been great for construction. So Lake Malibu, we were able to pour the remaining concrete work on Thursday. So that's done. We've had great weather for the concrete curing. And that was on the existing end wall and then the support underneath the rock channel. So we're moving along on that project. Remaining is grading, riprap work, and work on the energy dissipator. On U-Line, they did the testing on the north water main that was reinstalled, and the pressure testing and the bacteria test have passed. That's update on projects, but Tom has an update on LED lighting.
Before you run away,
Yes.
what percentage of the Lake Malibu Storm Sewer Project are we at? Is it 50%, 25%?
No, we're 50.
Okay.
We're 50 for sure. Especially getting all that concrete work done.
Yeah, that's,
Yeah, so.
so is it possible to finish it this year or not?
Not the bituminous driveway.
Okay,
The plants are going to be closing.
yeah.
So that will have to be done next year, but I'm hoping the riprap will get in. And it has to get in,
Okay,
so they can do that.
all right, thank you. Tom?
Just one final item, if I could, talking about LED lights. We did get a fixture installed right out by in front of the City Hall, by the City Hall parking lot. I think you can clearly see the difference from each end of the block. Currently, the existing light fixtures are 400 watt high pressure sodium, and the ballast uses about 60 watts. So we're looking at 460 kilowatts for these fixtures. The one that's installed out here is 130 kilowatts, so quite a savings. So look at the difference, and we're kind of moving forward with that. I did submit we have a plan coming from Crestview Drive. We took a sample of how many lights we had and to get a energy savings on that area. So we're kind of moving forward. So hope you can look at that light and let me know what you think.
Can I ask a question on that?
Sure.
So if you change the lights to LED, or would you do like a whole block at a time then? Or are you gonna do it like?
Our proposal, once we get our proposal is, the downtown area has 29 Cobra Head streetlights. I would think we would consider doing all 29 of those.
Consistent on
Yeah.
that area? Yeah.
And then Crestview Drive area, and then a few on Gateway Boulevard. I think there's like 58 or 60 there. Carmichael, we should, if we do a section, I think we should, consider how many lights are in that area, and we'll have
It just kind of looks funny, like when you.
it does.
Yeah.
I think something else we might want to look at when we move, if we decide to move forward with this, is to be a little bit flexible as far as if it's an area where there's a lot of foot traffic versus not. We might need to consider a little bit stronger lighting in downtown areas, where there's more pedestrian traffic, that sort of thing. So I just want to be open to that possibility.
I think as we move forward, we'll take current lighting, whatever the lighting standards that we have currently, and then we can test what is proposed. I mean, that's 130 watt LED. I mean, if you would like a little more, we could certainly get higher. The other thing that's interesting with LED lights, like Lori says, is actually you can have the diodes actually tip back at an angle. So I mean, you can have some go forward out into the road, but you can also get some of the diodes facing back for your exact reason for, like to light up a sidewalk. So that's another good advantage. We can actually work with that.
Good.
And then there's another, I can get in a whole big story about LED lights, but another thing that we can look at is some of them actually have you know, they can be programmed to actually dim lower. So like from 10 a.m. or 10 p.m. to 4 a.m. in the morning, we could actually even lower the lights more than they are now. So, you know, when there's less traffic, we can actually have more savings. So that's something else we'll be talking about.
Okay. Good. Thanks, Tom. Any questions? Okay. Next item on the agenda is the 2013 budget for municipal operation, ordinance number 15-12.
Questions, comments? The ordinance also does include the parking fund, the ambulance fund, and the storm sewer utility fund.
Which was in
Which
last
you saw
week.
last time.
I'll move to suspend the rules to move it forward.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Roll call.
Morset,
Yes.
Yakub.
Yes.
Haggett,
Yes.
Vanslo.
Yes.
T-Winkle,
Yes.
Bernard.
Yes.
Then I'll move to approve ordinance number 15-12 for 2013 budget for municipal operations.
Second.
Okay. Discussion, comments.
I just want to point out a couple things. As we look at the total levy that we're approving, the increase is 5.206%. But it's important to note where those increases and decreases are coming from. St. Croix County's gone up 7.955%. Devin mentioned a lot of that is due to the library, change in library funding. So people are going to see a nearly 8% in their county tax, on their tax bill. There was a 7.179% increase from the Hudson School District. WITC increased 2.058%. The state of Wisconsin went down 3.012%. And the city of Hudson went up 0.307%. So the overall increase is 5.206%, but the lion's share of the increase is from St. Croix County and Hudson School District. I think that sometimes is lost.
The other thing that we're not sure yet is on our state credits and lottery credits and all that. So, you know, that 5.2% could be slightly higher or lower depending on what our state credits come in at.
So are the bills gonna, oh, forget it.
I would anticipate middle of December, Neil, do you figure because once we get this approved, we can get the information to the county and then we'll get in line to do our, you know, with the rest of the municipalities.
And each thing will be separated again like last year on the bills, like the county tax?
Yes, yep.
That was very helpful when people
Yeah, but
complained.
that's state law, I believe, that they have certain things that have to be, and they have to be split out.
It's helpful for complaints.
Yeah, in the past, there were issues with the school district just showing up as Hudson,
Right.
and people were confused and thought it was the city of
I
Hudson.
think that was resolved, I think 2 years
It
ago, I
was
think last year it was
last
resolved,
year.
correct.
Yeah. So it's just important for people to know their taxes are going to go up, but you have to look at who's doing what, and I think the city's done a very commendable job keeping our taxes nearly flat.
Questions, comments?
I wanted to mention, I guess I was disappointed, the submittal of the request for part-time fire secretary was, to go to full-time status, was not approved. There is no full-time admin position at the fire department whatsoever. And the fire chief, I think he had done some salary surveys looking at what it would cost to have a full-time fire chief. However, when you get down to the economics, it's much more efficient to get a full-time admin person. And I think the increase was $14,000. So
It was over 30.
was it over 30?
Yep.
Okay.
Benefits.
In large part due to health insurance.
Well, I still think that it's worth mentioning, and that at some point, it seems, to me anyway, a little bit out of kilter to continuing to be buying a lot of vehicles when the fire department has no full-time person there 40 hours a week besides Inspector Krupich, who he's got other things to do, so.
I think we're trying to reduce vehicles, actually.
Well, I know, but we're still buying new vehicles. I guess my point is, of all the departments, that seems like one that maybe we should have somebody there 40 hours a week. And so maybe we can look at it in the 5-year plan. I don't know. I guess it's worth mentioning.
One of the recommendations that we had on that, John, and I don't know if it was brought up, but any kind of additional help, we were going to try and take it over to the main floor as far as.
Well, there was discussions once the budget was, you know, if there were things that could be done away from the fire department, you know, we would look, we're re-looking at the position upstairs with the municipal court clerk as well to try to see if there's other people that can help with different tasks, so.
Cool.
See,
But
this is
until
why-
this was all approved, I really, Jim and I really haven't sat down to talk about it, so.
This is why I want everyone cross-trained.
Sure.
Okay,
And out of 15 sections, it's the only thing I had an issue with.
That's pretty
so
good.
I think it's pretty darn good,
and
for me anyway.
Devin, Neil, and our department heads, you guys did a wonderful job under really tough conditions, so I thank you for that. And committee chairs, you guys did a good job. I mean, I think it was the smoothest budget, not an easy budget, but the smoothest budget we've had in a long time. But it's tough. It's really tough out there. And I think everybody, I'm sure nobody's really happy about all the information in the budgets, but I think everybody did a nice job, so.
Like I said, hopefully it's a good sign that the assessment's inching back up, that, not that it's a lot of extra money, but there'll be maybe some additional revenue base for future years.
We've got some good building permits. If you look at all the building permits that have been pulled and some of the stuff going on, that's a positive. So,
I don't remember seeing it. Do we have a cushion for whatever the future outcome is for arbitration?
We're gonna put money in a health insurance reserve for whatever the future may hold, whether it's the result of that arbitration, whether it's increased. The plan is to take any unexpended personnel costs from 2012, because we haven't filled a couple positions. The front desk position, we have the benefits from there, and then Lieutenant Atkinson's position, and put them in a specific reserve for that, potentially that situation, or for potential future health insurance
So Marty's not
increases.
going to have to find that?
Hopefully not.
Okay. 'Cause I don't
so
know
the
if we
answer is
can.
yes, I hope we do.
Yes.
I don't know if we can, so.
Right.
Okay?
And any unexpended contingency money from this year as well, we thought we would put in there. And you can reallocate that at any time, so if we don't need it, then you can reallocate it to something else.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? Comments?
Thank you, Devin, for all your help.
Okay. All in favor of the resolution or ordinance?
Hi.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Communication from any alderperson.
One more.
What did I miss?
Excess.
Oh, I'm sorry
computer
about that.
proposal.
Use of excess capital funds for software and server maintenance.
Mike is here, he can explain it. Mike did come to the Finance Committee earlier on and discuss the possibility of having ACS, which is our accounting software program, hosted off-site rather than, and he explained it in the memo, rather than us paying maintenance on it. So that went to Finance earlier, he got all the numbers and the quotes, so he can make his proposal and answer any questions.
Currently, we're paying a total for maintenance between the iSeries server and our IBM server of $24,000, $24,945, and that also includes a third-party consultant when we need it. This last year, ACS was acquired by Xerox, and their prices for hosting that software dropped approximately $10,000. So what we're proposing is that currently it's on site. We move that to ACS's servers. They maintain it. We don't pay maintenance anymore. They do the updates. 280 hours a year is about what we spend on our time keeping that up. And we have $12,000 in a capital expenditure fund for electronic keys for the building. The quotes came in much higher, and it was decided we weren't going to proceed with that. So I'm asking for permission to take that $12,000 and put it to replace that IBM server with a Windows server. I got 3 estimates. They all came in under that. I will re-quote them if it's approved because it's been over 60 days. And it will do a couple of other things. One, our current server is 6 years old. We spent almost $50,000 for that 6 years ago. We did an update last year, which has gotten us through to this point. But at some point, that's going to need to be replaced. A Windows server is much cheaper. And we really have no realistic contingency plan. If something happened to City Hall, we do have a backup. We take every night, we take it off-site. But to replace the hardware, the IBM server would take 2 to 3 weeks. Just, it's not off the shelf like a Windows server would be. So we'd be without any kind of finance for 2 or 3 weeks. This way, there's a 4-hour guarantee. If something catastrophic happens, they guarantee that within 4 hours it'll be back up. So there are no additional costs. There is $1,200 additional in the maintenance budget. However, over the last 4 years, we've burned out 6 switches because of the heat in that office and in the server room, which come out to about $1,300 a year. This will eliminate the heat problem, so I'm not asking for any additional money. We'll make that up by not burning out components. Any questions?
Seems like a great idea to me.
I have a question. When's the website going to be up?
The website should be up on February. I just talked to Devin today.
Okay.
At the next council meeting, we'll have a presentation on where we're at. The biggest holdup has been on our side, getting photographs. The police department have provided some, Public Works have provided some, but with all of those, there's about 25 usable photographs. They would like as many as we can get. If we have a couple hundred, they will incorporate all that into the website.
Of the city? And what sort of photographs are we talking about?
Anything related to Hudson. I have probably 20 of the arch, which is good, but
Just Google image?
I was going to say, can we get some stock photos of snow
we
plows?
can. We have to get permissions on most of those. We do have some from Google Images. We do have some from local photographers who agreed to provide some of their better photographs as long as we provide them credit on there. So we have pictures of the parks. We've got some buildings. We've been working on it, mainly just people and their cameras going around. And so we're just about through that. And so about February is when we should have it. But we'll have a detailed timeline.
I know it wasn't on the agenda, I just had to ask. But,
I wondered the same thing.
yep, okay. We've got a proposal in front of us. Is there any other questions for Mike? Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Just out of curiosity, what's the time frame for switching over?
It will take us about 6 weeks. We need to.
But it won't impact what
No,
we're doing? Okay.
No, we will do the actual switch over on a weekend.
Okay.
So somewhere right around Christmas time.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Any communication from any alder person?
I have something.
Yes.
Kind of a public service announcement. There's been a lot of vandalism around town, especially this year. It's very frustrating. It's costing the city a lot of money. So, and apparently there's been witness to it, but when it's been witnessed, they took a little longer to call it in. So if you see anything, call it in right away. Doesn't help us if we get there after it's done. So it's time to put an end to this. I'm getting really frustrated, so.
Okay. Anyone else?
It's a big weekend, Black Friday, buy local. There's a lot of great shops and stores and things going on here. Great restaurants, so take advantage.
Isn't Saturday the shop local day? Is that the day?
It is, yeah.
Nationwide, yes.
Nationwide, so, good point. City attorney?
Nope.
City administrator?
Nothing. We will be closed Thursday and Friday this week. Mention that.
First time for Friday, correct?
No, second year.
Second year?
Second year we've had it.
Okay. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned. Thank you.